Hi everyone, I've got a Fisher Paykel washing machine. This model is the GWL10, which was a US model, and I've owned this one since about 2001 and still going strong, except we've got a leaky water inlet valve, and the symptom is we get kind of a constant drip of water into the basin here. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace both of the water inlet valves, cold and hot. So these are the new parts. Let's see, I purchased these from on Genuine Appliance Parts Sales online. But yeah, it's two different part numbers, 420148P. That is the cold water inlet. You can see it's color coded. And then the hot water inlet is 420147P. And again, you can see it's color coded. First step is just for easy access. We're going to remove the lid. You just flip that up and it pulls right out. Like that. Next step is we want to unhook the power to the washer. We're going to shut off the water supply. Both of those are off. And then we will unscrew the hoses. And you want to keep track of course, which hose is which. Mine are conveniently color-coded, and these just unscrew by hand. But of course, they're going to spill a little bit of water when you unhook them, so have a towel or a bucket or something just to catch that spill. Okay, I've got the water lines disconnected. Of course, we have a very convenient basin here where we can let them drip away to their heart's content. And if we look on the back of the washer, we can see where those plugged in. So yeah, those are our two valves that we're going to be replacing right there. Our next step is going to be to remove the two Phillips screws, one here and one here, so that we can remove this top panel. With those two screws removed, this panel just kind of cleanly flips out like this. And yeah, there's my model number. This is the GWL10, the US version. And right here and here are the two valves I'm going to be replacing today. And the first step is that these valves are both kind of retained by this plastic bracket here. And this is held in place by a Phillips screw that screws into the other side. Looks like originally there were probably two Phillips screws. Now there's only one in place, but I'm just going to remove that. And I suspect, we've had people work on this over the years, and so maybe one of the repairmen left out that screw. Okay, so now I am unscrewing that Phillips screw. And with that screw out, this guy just pulls right out. I'll start with the cold water valve here, and I think you can remove this whole assembly if you want, but I found that wasn't necessary. I was just able to pull this guy up and kind of rotate it around. And yeah, completely pull it out. You'll notice these valves have, it looks like, at first you might think that this part down here is threaded. It's not. That's just kind of a ridged rubber thing that provides just kind of a press seal into that hole. So next step will be to undo the electrical connector. There's just a little tab you have to pry on and it pulls right out. Okay, so now the cold water valve is completely out, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing with the hot water inlet. Okay, so now both valves are removed. You can see they just kind of press fit into these two holes here. Those look pretty clean, but since we're just replacing things, I'm going to go ahead and just use a paper towel to wipe these out, make sure that they're nice and smooth and clean. Okay, so here are the old valves. Here are my new ones, cold and hot. And I'm just going to take a little bit of silicone lubricant and just kind of smear it around on these sealing surfaces. I don't know that that's necessary, but it's not going to hurt anything. Okay, here's my hot water valve. I've plugged the electrical connection back in, and I'm just going to shoehorn this into position and press it into its hole. And that's going to take me 2 hands, so I'm going to put this camera down. Okay, and the only thing that's slightly tricky is you just want to make sure to get the valve in the same configuration that it was in when it came out. You can see this plastic piece sort of engages this slot in the valve, and now I'm ready to just push the valve down into place. So there it is, nice and snug. And same thing for the cold water side. I've got the electrical connector plugged in, the valve's oriented in place, and I just press it down. Easy peasy. Okay, then comes this retaining bracket, and you can see it kind of slots in, slides down, and then we'll screw in the Phillips screw that retains that. Okay, everything's back into place. All we got to do now is just put everything back together. Flip the lid back on, hook up the hoses, plug it in. Okay, water lines are reconnected. Yeah, I used a wrench to tighten these. I mean, you don't want these to be like crazy tight, but you definitely want them to be more than finger tight. Next step is to just kind of crack these valves open. Okay, and we'll let those lines fill with water, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Put the lid back on and we'll be ready to do laundry.